Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Good 5-Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm Morganne Judd. Thank you so much for joining us. This week, we look into new federal order changes regarding U.S. aid, get student opinion on tuition increases, understand the effects of plastic straws, follow a group campus cleanup, march forth for democracy, and for the first time this semester, we'll visit Aidan on location. And of course, David Okula will have all things Rhody athletics covered in this week's Rhody Sports Corner. For our top story, President Mark Parlange sent out an email to all URI students on February 27th regarding federal actions and funding freezes. The email announced changes to U.S. aid grant-funded positions at the University of Rhode Island and abroad, effective at the end of March. Casey Chan Smutko explains these new changes and how they will affect URI.
Hi, I'm Casey Chan Smutko, your federal order reporter with the Good 5-Cent Cigar. For this week's report, I will be discussing the update about the United States Agency for International Development programs at the University of Rhode Island. On February 27th, President Mark Parlange and Provost Barbara Wolf sent out an email stating all URI research programs funded by the USAID are now terminated and will officially end this month. This includes the $66 million grant that was supposed to be awarded to 6 of the programs. As a result of this, the Human Resources Department is working to match former research employees to new positions within URI. According to the email, these changes were necessary to comply with the termination notices from USAID and address the uncertain future of USAID funding. Despite the decision, Parlange and Wolf are still committed to the mission for vital education, research, and service of the nation's universities. The leadership team on federal actions and partners across the university are continuing to monitor this and other emerging government actions closely. This has been Casey Chan Smutko with the Good 5-Cent Cigar. Back to you.
Thanks, Casey. In February, the university's Board of Trustees approved of a 3.5% tuition increase for both in-state and out-of-state students, as well as a 0.7% increase in undergraduate mandatory fees. We'll hand it off to Stephen Russo, who asked URI students what their opinions are on the increase.
So my name is Stephen Russo with the Good 5-Cent Cigar. We're going to be going around campus today asking some student opinions about the 3.5% increase in tuition. You know that URI has a 3.5% increase on tuition coming next semester.
I did not.
What are your feelings on that?
So that's going to be really rough for me because my family already can't afford college. And I've been taking out loans recently, and my mom actually wanted me to take this semester off and work at home. So that I could get more money to pay for college, and I didn't, and now she is not going to be very happy with that.
I did not know about that.
I also did not know about that.
Now, are you guys in-state students or out-of-state students? We're both in-state students.
Yes.
All right, so you guys are going to be paying about $17,000 now.
Okay.
And what are your feelings on that?
I'm surprised, actually, because I just had no idea about that.
Personally, so my feelings on that is that not necessarily on my part because I have a scholarship that pays for my tuition. However, looking on the other side of things, if I were to not have that scholarship, I'd probably be feeling awful in the sense that who wants to pay more money? You know what I mean?
I don't have any scholarships. I don't have any grants. I'm just taking all of my loans out of pocket, really.
To learn more about the tuition increase, go to rhodycigar.com and read Calypso Delavo's article, URI Tuition Hikes Again. This is Stephen Russo, the Good 5-Cent Cigar. Back to you.
Thanks, Stephen. President Donald Trump signed an executive order revoking the mandatory usage of paper straws. Will the reemergence of plastic straws have environmental consequences? Casey Chan Smutko spoke with GSO professor J.P. Walsh to uncover the truth.
Hi, this is Casey Chan Smutko with the Good 5-Cent Cigar. On February 10th, President Donald Trump signed a new executive order banning paper straws from major cities and bringing back plastic straws, which may harm our ecosystems. According to the Federal Register of Presidential Documents, Trump claims that paper straws are non-functional use chemicals that may carry risks to human health, and are more expensive to produce than plastic straws. For more information, J.P. Walsh, a professor of oceanography at the Narragansett Bay campus, gives his thoughts on the order. Trump's executive order is about banning paper straws and bringing back plastic straws. How's that going to affect our oceans?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to say at our whole ocean scale. One thing we can say is that we do see a lot of single-use plastics entering the ocean, and that includes straws. And so, one of the concerns is the sheer amount of marine debris that's ending up in our oceans and coasts can have impact on organisms of different types.
This has been Casey Smutko with the Good 5 Cent Cigar. Back to you.
Thanks, Casey. Last Friday, Student Action for Sustainability hosted a campus cleanup. From 4 to 5 p.m., students gathered as much trash as they could around campus. Kat Sheridan has the story.
I'm here outside the Memorial Union, where this past Friday, student organizations hosted a campus cleanup. Some of these organizations included Student Action for Sustainability, Student Senate, Rotary, and the North Woods Club.
SAS organized this because, we've been doing some beach cleanups over the last couple semesters where we really saw that, campus was pretty dirty. Wanted to change that fact and really partner with the Student Senate, Rotary Club, ESW here as well, and really brings a sense of community on campus between clubs, showing that we care about our campus and want to make it a cleaner place for all.
I wanted to come here because I haven't been to a cleanup event on campus yet, and I've just been seeing so much trash around, so I really wanted to participate in this, and I spread the word to my friends. And yeah, I just wanted to show my support for the club.
It's important because, it needs to be done. We need to represent to the students that we care about the spaces we're living in, and that this is an organized event that, no matter the club, we care about it. We want to see this happen here.
I'm Kat Sheridan with the 5 Cent Cigar.
Thanks, Kat. Now we'll visit McCoy Stadium, a baseball stadium in Pawtucket under demolition, with Aidan Cahill.
Behind me is a staple of Rhode Island summers, left to rot in its final days. Welcome to Aidan on Location at historic McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. There's been professional baseball on and off in this city for over a century now. The first team to call Pawtucket home was the Pawtucket Maroons, who played under 6 different names over 10 seasons between the 1890s and 1915. Pawtucket was left without a baseball team between the World Wars. That is, until the mid-1940s, when Mayor Thomas McCoy championed the building of a new stadium, completed in 1942. In 1946, the first baseball team came back to Pawtucket. The first team to call McCoy Stadium home didn't last long. The Pawtucket Slaters of the New England Baseball League lasted from 1946 to 1949, when the league collapsed. They were good, however, making the playoffs each season and leading the league in attendance once. Despite the support the Pawtucket Slaters received, they would only last for 2 seasons before moving to Waterbury, Connecticut. In 1970, the Pittsfield Red Sox moved to Pawtucket to become the Pawtucket Red Sox of the Eastern League in AA. Though the team would move 2 years later to Bristol, Connecticut, the team name would remain when the Louisville Colonels moved to Pawtucket and became the AAA Pawtucket Red Sox in 1973. That team would continue to play here until 2019, their last season before moving to Worcester to become the Woo Sox. During their time in Pawtucket, the Paw Sox won 4 league championships and often led the league in attendance figures. As well, in 1981, due to a weird quirk in that year's rule book, the longest professional baseball game in history was played here, lasting 33 innings and a 3-2 victory for the Pawtucket Red Sox. As of next week, the stadium is beginning a process of demolition to make way for a new high school in the area. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Aidan. Finally, Maia Hembruff attended a March for Democracy in Wakefield, Rhode Island last Tuesday. Here's Maia on the scene.
I'm Maia Hembruff, here today reporting for the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm in downtown Wakefield, and there's currently a protest going on against Trump's actions so far in office. A crowd of people gathered in the streets of Wakefield on Tuesday afternoon in protest. Alongside Ukrainian flags, people carried signs, one in particular reading, "Beep for Democracy," directed at passing cars. So what message are you trying to send here today?
I'm here to send a message for democracy against people that aren't elected being in charge of people's lives at a governmental scale.
Well, I'm hoping to see that more people will get out, for example, and vote against the SAFE Act. I've been spreading postcards to various legislators to work against the SAFE Act. I didn't dare put a sign about the SAFE Act because I was afraid people don't understand it or know it, so I've been spreading longer text to explain why that's dangerous. So I'm hoping to see legislators come up with some actions.
Today I'm hoping that we can spread awareness that Ukraine isn't standing alone, that even though a lot of people want an America First sort of agenda, that, you know, our interests as Americans also sort of spread across the seas, that we shouldn't necessarily leave any sort of job left undone, and that we should see this through. They stand for our ideals, they stand for everything that America is. To me, it just seems like a no-brainer. Why are you going to go over and turn your backs on them?
How has the turnout been so far today for you?
It's been very impressive. It almost makes me want to cry. It's pretty horrifying what's happening. And so I was at the State House last Saturday. There were about 2,000 people there. Representative Magaziner spoke, Representative Amo spoke. So I know our legislators from Rhode Island are in favor of doing what they can. Just hope more get on board.
Turnout has been amazing. There's probably like 400, 500 people here. Absolutely crazy. It's unreal being here. It feels really great to be part of such change.
This has been Maia Hembruff with the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Maia. Since there are no classes next week due to spring break, I'll hand it off to David Okula with this week's Rhody Sports Corner.
Thanks, Morganne. Hello and welcome to the Rhody Sports Corner, your place for all the latest updates across URI athletics. I'm David Okula. Women's basketball hosted George Washington on Saturday afternoon for its final game of the regular season. With a win, the Rams would secure a double bye in the Atlantic 10 tournament. However, they were held to just 29 points through the opening three quarters on their way to a 54-46 loss. Gerard Villemenay has the story from the Ryan Center.
In their last home game of the season at the Ryan Center, the University of Rhode Island's women's basketball team hosted George Washington University, where they fell to George Washington 54-46. The Revolutionaries dominated the Rams as they were 19 of 42 from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point range, and 14 of 18 from the free throw line. While Rhode Island almost made a comeback in the fourth quarter, URI head coach Tammy Reese was still not happy about her team's performance.
Well, obviously, I'm really disappointed in the way we played today. Credit to George Washington and their compete. They had a really hard week with their coach being let go, and I think it kind of invigorated them, and they came out and they just competed. They really did.
Rhode Island was 18 of 65 from the field, 4 of 26 for three-pointers, and were 6 of 11 for free throw shooting.
Right now, I think with the team, a little bit of a lack of leadership, and we were not focused today. And so it was really hard to get them focused the past 2 days, and it showed. It really did. So,
third-year forward Adanel Dutat scored 17 points during the game and was the only URI player to have double-digit points.
You know, I don't think we put our best effort on the floor today as a team together. We did not play for each other today.
Rhode Island finished the season with a 16-15 record. In the Atlantic 10 Conference, the Rams finished 11-7, securing the 5th seed and a 1-round bye. URI's next match will be in the A10 tournament on March 6 at 1:30 p.m. The Rams will face the winner of the George Washington Loyola University Chicago game. Reporting from inside the Ryan Center, my name is Gerard Villemenay, Rhody Sports Corner.
As for some other scores and results around campus this week, men's basketball visited UMass on Saturday night for the final matchup between the teams as conference foes. The road struggles continued for the Rams in a high-scoring 91-88 loss. Then they stayed on the road for a battle with St. Joseph's on Wednesday night. Baseball made a 9th-inning comeback to take the series opener against New Mexico 14-13 on Friday night. However, they proceeded to drop the next 3 games and the series. The Rams returned to Kingston on Tuesday, where they fell 5-4 in their home opener. Softball won its first game against Presbyterian College at the Catamount Classic this weekend, but went on to lose its next 4 games. Women's lacrosse secured its first road win in program history on Saturday with a 14-7 victory over Fairleigh Dickinson. The Rams continued their road trip with a game against Stonehill on Wednesday afternoon. Men's and women's track and field both went down to Virginia Beach this weekend for the Atlantic 10 Championships. The men's team continued its dynasty, bringing home its record-breaking 5th consecutive conference championship. Meanwhile, the women's team put together a 5th-place finish out of the 14 teams competing. Finally, women's tennis split a pair of matches against in-state rivals this weekend. First, the Rams took down Providence on Saturday before dropping a match to Brown on Sunday. That's all for this week's edition of the Rhody Sports Corner. To stay updated with all things Rhody athletics, follow us on X at @cigar_sports. Back to you, Morganne.
Thanks, David. That's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow us here and on Instagram at Rhody Cigar and pick up our print paper anywhere on campus to stay up to date with all your Rhody news. You can also find us online at rhodycigar.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Morganne Judd. This is the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast, and as always, have a great week, Rhody.